He's forgotten about love, sacrifice, and what it means to put someone else's life before your own. His own self-pity over his divorce, his bitterness about his past. It all seems insignificant compared to Amara's quiet heroism. The next evening, David doesn't wait for Amara to come to him. Instead, he shows up at her apartment building with bags of groceries and a proposition. Amara is terrified when she sees him at her door, convinced she's about to lose everything. But David's first words are, "I know about Kemi. I know you've been giving him all the food, and I want to help." Amara's instinct is to refuse, to protect their privacy. But David continues, "I grew up in foster care. I know what it's like to be hungry, to feel like you're one mistake away from losing everything. But I also know what it's like to be too proud to accept help." He explains that he's been watching her sacrifice everything for Kemi, and it's reminded him of what real strength looks like. David proposes something unprecedented. He wants to hire Amara as his restaurant's community outreach coordinator, a position he creates specifically for her. Her job would be to connect with other families in need, distributing surplus food legally and helping people access resources. The salary isn't huge, but it's enough for Amara to pay rent and get proper groceries. More importantly, it comes with health insurance that would cover Kemi's treatments. Amara can barely believe it's real. "Why?" she asks. David tells her about losing his own child, about how watching her care for Kemi has reminded him what love actually looks like in action. "You're not begging," he says. "You're fighting for someone you love. That's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be admired." The transition isn't immediate or easy. Amara struggles with accepting help after so long surviving on her own, but gradually she begins to trust David's intentions. Kemi, meanwhile, is delighted to have real food and especially excited when David teaches him simple cooking techniques during his recovery days. 3 months later, Amara stands in Sullivan's dining room, not as someone begging outside, but as someone who belongs. She's gained healthy weight, her hair shines again, and most importantly, Kemi's treatments are working. The little boy who was once too weak to sit up now helps Amara sort donations in the restaurant's new community kitchen. David watches Amara work with other families, seeing her patience and understanding with people who remind him of who she used to be. She's become the heart of something bigger than either of them imagined, a network of support for families facing medical crises. One evening, as Amara locks up the community kitchen, she finds David waiting with a small envelope. Inside is a photo, Amara and Kemi laughing together in the restaurant kitchen, Kemi wearing a tiny chef's hat. On the back, David has written, "Sometimes the person asking for help is actually the one teaching the rest of us how to live." Amara looks up at David, no longer afraid, no longer ashamed. "Thank you," she says, but this time, it's not the desperate gratitude of someone begging for scraps. It's the quiet appreciation of someone whose dignity has been restored, whose love for her brother has been honored rather than pitied. True generosity comes not from giving what you can spare, but from recognizing the strength in those who ask for help and understanding that sometimes the person who appears to need the most actually has the most to teach us about love, sacrifice, and what really matters in life.
There's more to this offer than simple kindness. This moment changes everything. James has crossed a line from observer to participant in Maya's life, and she must decide whether to trust him or protect herself from potential exploitation. Maya accepts the position, but the transition isn't smooth. Other employees whisper about her rapid promotion, spreading rumours about how she earned it. Some of James's executives openly question her qualifications, making snide comments about charity cases. Maya feels the weight of their judgment but proves herself capable. She's organised, intelligent, and brings a work ethic that impresses even skeptics. However, The emotional toll is significant. She doesn't fit into the corporate culture. Her wardrobe is budget, her references are blue collar, and she lacks the polish of other executives. James becomes increasingly protective of Maya, which only fuels more rumours. He finds himself genuinely caring about her success, helping her navigate corporate politics, even buying her professional clothes, which she initially refuses, then reluctantly accepts as work uniforms. Maya's children's lives improve dramatically. Better apartment, consistent meals, quality healthcare for Diego. But Maya struggles with guilt and imposter syndrome. She wonders if she deserves this opportunity, if she's somehow betraying her authentic self. The tension escalates when James's ex-wife, Patricia, returns from Europe and sees Maya at a company event. Patricia immediately recognizes the dynamic. She assumes Maya is James's new romantic interest and confronts her publicly, calling her a gold digger and predicting James will discard her once the novelty wears off. This confrontation devastates Maya. She realizes how others perceive the situation and feels humiliated. She considers quitting, but James convinces her to stay, promising the gossip will die down. However, James's daughter Emma visits unexpectedly and meets Maya. Emma is hostile, seeing Maya as a replacement for her mother. She makes cruel comments about Maya's background and children, echoing the worst assumptions about her character. Maya reaches a breaking point when she overhears Emma telling James he's embarrassing himself with the cleaning lady. The words cut deep because they echo Maya's own fears about not belonging in this world. The tension culminates when Maya discovers James has been quietly paying for additional expenses, Diego's medical bills, Sophia's school supplies, things Maya never asked for. She confronts him, accusing him of trying to buy her loyalty and turn her into a charity case. James realizes his actions, however well-intentioned, have made Maya feel powerless again. Their relationship fractures as Maya struggles to maintain dignity while accepting help she desperately needs. The explosion comes during the company's annual charity gala, a $500 per plate event supporting local food banks. The irony isn't lost on Maya, who once survived on literal leftovers. Patricia attends with her new fiancé, a prominent lawyer. She's determined to expose what she sees as James's inappropriate relationship with an employee. She corners Maya publicly, loudly questioning her qualifications and implying she's sleeping her way to success. The confrontation escalates when Patricia mentions Maya's children, suggesting she's using them to manipulate a lonely rich man. Maya's composure finally cracks. In front of the entire charity gala crowd, she responds with quiet fury. "You want to know what I am? I'm a mother who worked 3 jobs to keep food on the table. I am someone who chose my son's medication over my own meals. I earned this position through competence, not manipulation. And unlike you, I never demanded anything from James, except the respect I work for every day." The room falls silent. Maya continues, her voice steady despite tears. "You think I wanted this? You think I enjoyed asking for your husband's leftovers because I couldn't afford groceries? I did what I had to do to survive, and I won't apologize for that." James steps forward, finally ready to confront the situation publicly. He addresses the room. "Maya Rodriguez is the most qualified assistant I've ever had. She's also one of the strongest people I've ever met. If you have a problem with her presence here, you have a problem with me." But the real twist comes when Maya responds to James's defense. "I don't need you to defend me anymore, James. I can defend myself." She turns to address the entire gala. "Yes, I used to ask for leftover food from this building, and I'm not ashamed of that anymore. I did whatever it took to provide for my children, but I'm not that desperate woman anymore, and I'm not your charity case." Maya then does something unexpected. She announces she's leaving Blackstone Financial to start her own consulting firm, helping other struggling single parents navigate corporate environments. She's been secretly saving money and developing a business plan. James gave me an opportunity, but I built my own skills. I don't owe anyone explanations for how I survived or how I succeeded. The twist reveals Maya was never the helpless victim people assumed. She was strategic, using the opportunity James provided to become truly independent rather than permanently dependent. 6 months later, Maya's consulting firm is thriving. She helps single parents prepare for corporate positions, offers professional development workshops, and partners with companies to create more inclusive hiring practices. James and Maya maintain a professional relationship, but with mutual respect rather than the earlier dynamic of saviour and rescued. James has learned that his impulse to fix Maya's problems was partly about his own need to feel needed, not just genuine altruism. Maya's children are thriving in their new stability, but more importantly, they see their mother as a successful businesswoman who earned her position through determination and intelligence. James reconciles with his daughter Emma, who apologises to Maya and begins volunteering for Maya's non-profit programs. Patricia's public humiliation of Maya actually backfired, making Patricia look petty while highlighting Maya's grace under pressure. Maya moves to a comfortable middle-class apartment, not luxury, but a place she chose and can afford through her own earnings. She no longer needs anyone's leftovers, literal or metaphorical. The resolution shows Maya having dinner with her children in their new home, preparing a meal she bought with money she earned. It's a simple scene, but it represents complete transformation from the woman who once begged for someone else's discarded lunch. The story closes with Maya receiving a text from a new client, another single mother who heard about her services. The message reads, "I heard you help people like me. I've been cleaning offices at night and asking for leftover food. Can you help me find something better?" Maya smiles, remembering her own journey from desperation to empowerment. She responds, "Yes, I can help, and you're going to be amazed at what you're capable of." She looks at her children doing homework at the kitchen table, surrounded by food she provided through her own success, and realizes that sometimes the most powerful transformations begin with the courage to ask for help and the wisdom to eventually help yourself.